It's summertime. That means beer, cookouts, and of course golf. So the next time you're ready to tee it up, be sure to make your tee times at 12ouncesportsradio.com. That's right, you can now book tee times on 12 Ounce Sports Radio.
Yep, just go to www.12ouncesportsradio.com and scroll to the bottom of any page. Click the banner that says Book Like a Pro, enter your course or enter a zip code, and then select a tee time of your choice. You'll get up to 50% off each time you book through 12 Ounce Sports Radio.
So when you're ready to cheat your friends like Mike did in high school, just go to 12ouncesportsradio.com. That's the numbers 120Z sportsradio.com and book your tee times today.
You're gonna be my cheerleader. That's what you gonna be. My cheerleader. Boy, you ain't talking about nothing. You ain't nothing. Boy, all you do is run around and suck on everybody else. Sucker. You a sucker.
Gary Payton, Mike Persat.
He's laying wood on your ass. Keep laying wood on your ass. Get it back. You're weak. Weak ass. Get your weak ass out of here.
You think Gary Payton and Michael Jordan going at it on the court? I used to see it.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Craft Brewed Sports. I am Mike. With me, as always, is Scott. The man behind the computers is Joe. It's Craft Brewed Sports. Scott, you ready to tap this keg of sports knowledge?
Yeah. With some cider. You pump all pour? Does that work for cider?
Sure, I'm sure they put it in
cool.
kegs. Yeah.
All right, let's do it then.
You tap the tree, I'll pour.
Alrighty then. What's up, brother?
Joe, I'm just a terrifying day. Thought a baby was on the way, and
nothing's more fun than late pregnancy.
Yeah, just scary shit happening. Spent the whole day in the ER. Fun times. Joe, how you doing, man?
Doing great, guys. How's it going?
Oh, good, man.
But for the record, your wife is fine. You kind of just
totally
transition there. Yeah, spent the whole day in the ER. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Well,
Everybody's like, is she okay?
I mean, there's no baby here, so yeah, she's fine.
No, we're just doing a show. She's in the hospital.
I'll get there eventually. I'm dedicated to this show.
I know you're in the hospital. Well, we got a show.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I honestly don't know if it's working on any platform at this point. We're giving it a go.
Hoping and praying and a wishing.
Yep, let's hope that everything's working well. I can already tell that Robert Taylor is saying, "Oh, look, audio issues. That's not a good sign. Whatever. Fuck it. Catch the podcast later." At this point, I don't give a shit. Like I'm too pumped up. I don't give a shit anymore.
What in the hell could be going wrong this time?
Who knows? Fuck it. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. We got a really fun show for you tonight. If you can hear us, we're going to be talking about some Cleveland shit. Cleveland doing weird shit in the BMV. We're going to talk some Jim Harbaugh. And I actually agree with him about something.
I always agree with Jim Harbaugh. Don't you dare slander Jimmy like that.
We'll see.
We're going to talk Mayweather.
Mayweather and Fitty.
Fitty.
That might be the whitest thing I've ever said on this show. Fitty?
No, you've said some pretty
Some
white things.
shit. Okay.
Maybe the least.
All right, let's talk about the Motherfucker of the Week. We'll get right into that. Motherfucker of the Week nominees. Scott, give us the first one.
Your first one is the group of fans in Milwaukee who decided that it would be a smart idea to give a standing ovation to Josh Hader after he came back from the All-Star game and his racist and homophobic tweets surfaced. So his first appearance after the All-Star game in Milwaukee, comes out of the bullpen, and the home fans, for whatever reason,
Standing
gave
O!
him a standing O because of all the trials and tribulations he faced.
And he kind of apologized.
Yeah.
I don't get what's going through their heads. In fairness, at first I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. But there were a lot of people that gave Milwaukee fans shit for this week. There was a lot of hate on social media for doing this.
But there should have been.
Rightfully so. Yeah, I'm saying rightfully so. I was afraid that it was going to skirt by where people weren't even going to notice.
Yeah,
and
no.
Because I was sitting there like, am I overreacting to this? There's no reason why you should be getting a standing ovation right now, right?
I immediately thought, this is one of the most insane things I've ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. That is your first option for Motherfucker of the Week. Second option, former Notre Dame and Washington quarterback Joe Theismann. That's right. I'm calling him by his real name, Joe Theismann. He came out this week. I think it was TMZ Sports cornered him and asked him what he thought about the Washington mascot. And he said, he cited the survey from like a couple years ago where they were like 9 out of 10 Native Americans aren't offended by it, even though the logic was completely flawed in that survey and it's been proven that it's a horrible survey. So he cited that, and he said that he has, quote, talked to plenty of Native Americans who are fine with the name, so there is nothing racist about that name. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for that.
I've got
dynamite
Native
drop-in.
American friends. It's cool.
I was gonna say his argument was basically the equivalent of I've got a black friend. He's okay with it. He's okay if I say the N-word, so I'm allowed to say it.
We smoked a peace pipe. It's cool. Don't worry about it. We shared some mail pouch and talked about Manifest Destiny. They're totally cool with the racist name.
Yeah, they're fine with it. Relax, guys.
Don't do
Ease
any
up.
research on that. Just trust me.
There was a survey. I called 3 of my Native American friends, and 2 out of the 3, 66% are totally cool with it. Joe Theismann, other nominee for Motherfucker of the Week.
And while we're at it, they also were fine with Chief Wahoo. So there you go. Just nailing them all down this week. Thanks, Joe.
There's your options. Those are available on our Facebook page. Make sure you go in, make your vote count, and we will reveal the winner by the end of the episode, as well as give our opinions. I'm not going to lie, this is a tough one for me.
This isn't an easy cut right down the middle.
It's a really tough choice, and I think this one could be a very close vote as we get into this one.
But we'll see how it holds up.
Let's talk about the beer that we're drinking this week. Beer?
The beer? Yeah, thank you.
This week we have Airheads Green Apple Cider from March 1st Brewing. This is a local brewery here in Cincinnati. They are just north of the city, and they partnered with Airheads, which we found out is also a local company. Had no idea that Airheads was a local company, but they're made in Erlanger, Kentucky, just over the river. So Airheads and March 1st paired for this beer. Green Apple Cider. It's 6.9% ABV. They say it's a very light and crisp with a tangy sour apple flavor, 3.76 on Untapped, and not enough ratings to get rated on Rate Beer. Initial thoughts, Scott?
I don't like ciders because they're usually sweet as fuck. It's usually just a giant sugar bomb and maybe a little bit of alcohol. This, on the other hand, though, it actually really tastes like an Airhead.
This is kind of a
completely
sugar bomb.
shocking.
16 grams of sugar, because they actually have the nutrition facts on the
Which is weird.
bottle. Yeah, I thought that
I've
was
never
very
seen
strange.
a beer that
Me
has
neither.
nutritional
Yeah.
facts on it, but yeah, they're there. But it doesn't taste like sugar. Like, it's not overwhelming in
Yeah,
the flavor.
the color of it kind of threw me off, because when I poured it, I was like, "Oh, cool, we're drinking wine tonight." So I didn't really know what to expect. Definitely a sour apple smell. Like, holy shit, man!
Yeah.
You open up this bottle, and it is super sour.
It's
apple.
more sour than sweet, but that's what I'm looking for if I'm going to drink a cider. I don't like the regular ones. They're just it just tastes like sugar to me. No matter what flavor they're supposed to be, I'm just like, nah, I'm good. But this, solid out of the gates.
Yeah, Joe, your initial thoughts on this one?
You know,
Thank you, Joe.
I love Joe for his dynamite drop-ins on these. So we had a little discussion before the show whether or not a cider is a beer, and we found out that it is not actually a beer. There's no malts, there's no hops that go into it, so it's technically not a beer. The only thing that it shares with beers is the fact that it's fermented, and you know, there's a lot of stuff that's fermented, so
Right.
you can't really call it a beer. So we are kind of breaking the mold here. This when Joe mentioned
Craft brewed
this,
cider.
it's still technically craft brewed.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a craft brew, and they advertise as being the most drinkable craft brewery in the city. And they do March 1st like focuses on lagers, and they experiment somewhat, like obviously with this, but they're more ciders and lagers is what they're known for, which is a little crazy. Joe, since this is your brewery close to your place, do you know what March 1st means? What it alludes to?
The 1st of March?
nope.
It is. It's named for the date that Ohio became a state, March 1st, 18 something.
Oh.
So little ode to
More you know. Rainbow just shot across the sky.
filling content in the summer.
Found out Airheads is in Cincinnati. Now we know why it's named this.
Tank is listening in, and he said, if I was a high school girl, I would be so stoked about this cider.
I've already gotten texts from females about the beer. So,
Oh, well, you know.
this episode's for the ladies. Put that in the description later.
This one's
Hey,
for them.
ladies.
So there's your beer of the week. As always, we'll see how it holds up. Scott, you want to get into some Upper Deck?
Yeah, I need to get my papers out, though. But I can tell you that Upper Deck is brought to you, as always, by Minuteman Tickets, owned by a couple of local Ohio dudes who are sports fans just like all of you.
Minuteman helps customers find the best deals on the market. These guys are all about honesty all the time, every time. If someone has a better price, they'll tell you straight up.
But Minuteman isn't just sports or concerts. They'll help you out with tickets to literally any event you want. They'll even sell your tickets for you.
And with college football right around the corner, literally like a month away from college football at this point, be sure to hit up Minuteman. You goddamn right, Joe. Be sure to hit up Minuteman for all of your OSU football ticketing needs.
And while you do that, go like them on Facebook, where they do weekly giveaways of merchandise, sports and concert apparel, and obviously tickets.
They're actually doing a giveaway right now for a Craft Brewed Sports shirt and an autographed Cincinnati Bengals shirt. You have until Friday, tomorrow, to get in on that. So go in, comment who your favorite Bengal is, share it, like our page, like their page, and you're entered. That's all you got to do. It's super
And
simple.
follow us on Twitter.
Yep. Check them out at MinutemanTickets.com or give them a call at 614-943-3000 and avoid all the fees. No fees if you call them. 614-943-3000.
A simple story to start off Upper Deck.
Very simple.
Like,
One that kind of blew up. It's
Yeah,
one of those that we were like, that happened.
When I had to cut it for my job, I was like, shit, this one blew up because it's made Channel 9 news now. But whatever. In case you haven't heard, there's a DMV in Cleveland that decided they were going to make it so that you couldn't smile. Which, okay, here's the part that I want to talk about. I've never been discouraged from smiling at the DMV.
Me neither.
I didn't know that it was a thing. That
My
you're,
ID
like,
has
not
me smiling.
You're not supposed to. I've never smiled, but they always tell me you can smile if you want. Stand by until the flashes. Like, you know, typical DMV bland droneness about how it goes. But they've never said, do not smile because you're not supposed to. So I was.
Is that a new thing with the new IDs that
don't
they
know.
have going on?
So I had to do it too for my now work. I had to get a new badge, and they say if you smile, it like closes your eyes. So if you don't smile, your eyes are more open and they can see more of your face.
I also feel like they just want to do that so that if you commit a crime, they can use that picture and make you look like a total douchebag.
That was what I thought.
Because there was one, not the most recent ID I got, but the one before that, I didn't smile because I wanted to look like a badass. So I had like the shaved head.
You need a lot more than just not.
Well,
smiling for
because
that,
it's only shoulders up, so people don't know. So I was able to like kind of like put the shoulders
Look
up a
real
little bit,
intimidating.
yeah. And I didn't
Get the
smile.
trap house going,
Yeah,
get the trap house.
I was like, well, take the fucking picture, bro. And then I seriously looked at my ID and I was like, if I ever get arrested, this is what goes up on the news, and people are gonna be like, look at this fucking piece of shit.
and he's from Norwood.
So now
he's a piece of
my
shit.
ID is like me in like a pink shirt with like a big smile on my face, like, hey guys, I'm friendly. Don't rape me in
I'm a
prison.
dad. Well, anyway, the DMV in Cleveland, to get people to not smile, they put up a picture of LeBron in a Lakers jersey. That's a story.
I feel like it would make me laugh. Like I'd be like, that's kind of funny you did that.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to smile. Yeah, but that's kind of funny.
Right. Y'all are trying to be funny. It's backfired on you.
Did every BMV do this?
That's
or was
what
it just
I couldn't
one?
find. It was just one apparently, but I don't know. I never did find a locator for which DMV.
So
It just said
basically-
DMV in Cleveland.
Basically, this story blew up because one dude like pulled a prank at the BMV because he was bored as fuck one day and was like, you know what? I'm gonna put out a picture of LeBron in the Lakers jersey, and they were like, this is gonna go
Viral!
everywhere.
So there
Good for
it
you,
is.
man. All right, well, how about a little minor league baseball? And this might be my favorite story of the week. Last week, the Savannah Bananas already +1 for how great of a story it
That
is
is
just
a
because of their name.
fantastic name.
They're a summer league team. They took on the Macon Bacon +2 right there. Another fantastic name. And because minor league baseball is the best, they decided to do some amazing things for their St. Patrick's Day in July promotion. The stadium had green beer. There was Irish music. The big draw The Bananas played the entire game in kilts, which isn't really an Irish thing, but whatever.
It's not?
Little past.
That's a Scottish thing.
Scottish thing.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's
say,
more
I was like,
Scottish.
that's
I mean, there is like Irish kilts, but mainly it's a Scottish
Yeah,
thing.
Gotcha.
So anyways, they played the entire game in kilts. The game was actually canceled due to rain, and because it's like super minor league, summer league ball, they don't have a grounds crew. So the Bananas, the whole team had to like help pull the tarp on the field, and they're all in kilts trying to pull the tarp across the field. And actually, that might be the most Irish part of their whole promotion, was that there was a shitload of rain and it canceled the game. Everything else was like just bullshit, fake Irish stuff. This was definitely the most Irish part. The game was rescheduled for the 25th yesterday, and yes, the Bananas did rock the kilts again. You all right there, man? Did you forget there was a microphone there?
I totally did. I do podcasting.
Dummy.
Very much so. Sorry, y'all.
So I thought that was kind of a cool thing that these dudes actually rocked kilts. Like normally they say it's a promotion like that, and then they come out, take a picture, and then they go in and change. Like when I was thinking about it, I'm like, all right, it's not that hard to play baseball in a kilt, but if you got a slide, that's gonna hurt like a mother, man.
What were they wearing underneath the kilts?
If it's true kilt wearing, nothing.
I was going to say
you gotta
commando,
go commando
if you're actually wearing a kilt. But,
yeah, that's
a lot of dicks flopping around. Yeah, it takes us back to that age-old question about which sport you want to see the dicks flopping around in.
So you got bacon and then bananas, right? Those are the two dicks flopping around, bacon or bananas.
Yeah.
So one's rock hard and one is slightly.
Moving on.
All right, cool. Good transition.
Hey, Tank wants to know what happens if you're super stoned for your ID pick. Fantastic question.
I mean, it depends on if you're giggling while you're stoned or if you're just.
I think it's just that red eye
stoned.
look,
I
staring.
think they just like look at you and they say, "Hey, you want to go hang out in this like cell room over here, like real quick?" Because like you smell terrible.
Now they're like, "Hey, man, can I buy some from you? Because I work at the BMV and this sucks."
It'll make me hate my life less.
It's gonna make me want to put a picture of LeBron in a Lakers jersey up.
Well, the saga continues. The never-ending game of I can out-petty you between 50 and Money Mayweather added another chapter this week. They've been going back and forth all week on various social media sites. These two, who were once butt buddies and best friends, are now completely against one another.
Yeah.
Which was always bound to happen. Their relationship always seemed weird to begin with.
Right.
So I knew someday they would end up beefing because that's just how it goes. Anyway, Mayweather upped the ante, so to speak, this week. He announced a new venture, and he calls it the Biggest Rat Sweepstakes. What the fuck is that, you ask? Well, glad you asked. In a post on Instagram that features a bunch of rats and a picture of 50 Cent from his role as a cancer-ridden man in the movie All Things Fall Apart, Mayweather wrote, quote, "The Biggest Rat Sweepstakes. To enter, first, tell me how many rats are in this picture," rat emoji. Second, go to 50 Cent IG, Twitter, and Facebook and post the most disrespectful comment you can possibly think of about the herpes-infested rat, 50 Cent, rat emoji. Third, repost on your page, hashtag 50 Cent got herpes. I promise the top 9 shots will receive $5,000 or $1,000 each and a reposts on my page. Money emoji. End quote. Well, if that isn't the most savage thing fucking ever. But I also love, the grammar coming from the guy who can't read.
Right.
Each and a repost on my page.
Okay, but here's where I kind of feel like 50 wins on this one. Like, yeah, it's super petty, and it's funny that he did this, but Mayweather also has to have other people take shots at 50. Like, you can't come up with it your own.
That was the first thing I thought was, wait a minute, you have to crowdsource your savagery?
You're paying $9,000 to random people to make fun of 50 Cent. You can't come up with something good yourself.
Right.
You're going to take an L on this one, man.
Yeah.
Not only that,
on the heels of the L of not going to Africa and fulfilling your promises to speak.
Not only that, with Instagram, and I looked into it to try to see what was posted and if there was anything funny. All it was people hijacked the hashtag and were just posting like fights and dancing and
So Instagram.
like it was like people that they use
Check
that,
out my page.
They use that hashtag and the
to
in
draw
my
shit to them.
in my feelings challenge hashtag, and all it was like, I'm a rapper. Oh, cool, man. Thank you for
Check out my mixtape.
here's a minute of my mixtape. A lot of that. It was a lot of that.
But yeah, I mean, I'm all here for these two morons going back and forth on social media.
How
though.
long until they just fight? Like, just get it over with. Just fight.
I feel like it
Exhibition
should have
match.
already happened.
Yeah, just an exhibition match. No worries about like getting it sanctioned. Go fight somewhere and put it on pay-per-view, and you both can make a ton of money on it. I'd watch.
I was gonna say, I mean, if it worked when we tried to stream it, I'd watch. I mean, I tried to watch the Mayweather McGregor fight, but
Goddamn
reasons.
Dana White. All right, let's move on to this story. Sometimes you do whatever you can to get a good deal. And that's what a 37-year-old random dude named Jeffrey Jacobs did. Jeffrey Jacobs has a name similar to the owner of the Boston Bruins, Jeremy Jacobs. Not the same. Not like, oh, one's Jeff, one's Jeffrey. One's Jeffrey, one's Jeremy. Apparently it's close enough to pass because Jeffrey was arrested this week for trying to get out of paying for things by saying that he was the 78-year-old owner of the Boston Bruins. 37-year-old man trying to pass as the 78-year-old millionaire owner of an NHL hockey team. What happened was apparently a tree had fell on his house during a storm last year, and the owner of a company, who says he's a big Bruins fan, but apparently not a big enough Bruins fan, said that Jeffrey enticed him to come out during the middle of the storm and then convinced him to bill the $5,100 job to Jeremy, the actual owner of the Boston Bruins.
That's just good work.
Yeah, and he's done it before. He apparently tried to get out of a speeding ticket by saying he was Jeremy. So, like, this dude is just a bold-faced liar, and people are super dumb for falling for it. Like, they're like, I love the Bruins. Yeah, this 30-year-old dude is totally the owner. That makes perfect sense in my mind. First of all, I mean, you own a house. You've done work around the house. Have you ever had a contractor that's like, yeah, I'll just bill it to this other address that you're...
No, just a name. Bill me.
Right.
I'm this guy.
Right.
Don't look into
right.
it.
Don't,
Like, I don't understand how that works. Plus, the guy that owns the tree cleanup company was like, yeah, I'm a really big Bruins fan.
That's what I'm saying. You're
can't-
clearly not.
I was going to say, you can't possibly be if you just took this guy for his word.
Right.
Like, you're the Bruins owner? No way.
Also,
All right.
also, let's think about this for a second. If this dude's 37 years old and he is scamming tree trimmers out of doing work on his house, I'm assuming his house isn't to the scale that you would expect of the
That's a good
owner
bet. That's a good
of
bet.
a professional team. So wouldn't you think when the tree trimmer comes out and sees that this dude's living in like a 3-bedroom ranch and he's like, yeah, I own the Bruins, it doesn't send up any red flags where it's like, I don't think this is you. No, it's me. Just send me this bill to my office because I don't want to come in here.
Well, all right, then.
Seems legit.
I applaud the attempt,
It's a great
though.
try.
I mean,
I
other
mean,
than getting arrested for pretending to be somebody
all it
else.
is the same last name. And that's the other thing that blows my mind. He's not even. It's not even the same name.
Right.
Like that's like me just walking up and be like, "Yeah, I'm Scott Kaiser. What's up? How's it going?" And people are like, "Cool, man. Yeah, hey, how's it going?"
We'll bill you.
Send it to this address because I don't want it here. I don't want my wife to find out that this tree fell. You know what I'm saying? The tree trimmer's like, yes, I'm a big Bruins fan, so I'll do whatever you say, sir.
We're gonna bring the cup home this year, right? Yeah, that. And I don't want to pay for these trees. Whatever, bro.
There you go, man. So just lie. There's the moral of that story. Just lie about who you are.
Wow. Well, this next story, it was very funny to me because of all the shit that the cops took off of this story. Mm-hmm. So, Iowa starting defensive lineman Bradley, and I don't think it's Reef. I think that's because his brother plays for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. Sure.
Anyway,
go
sure.
with it.
Whatever. He was arrested this past weekend while on campus because he tried to get into the cop car. He had walked up to the cop car on the passenger side, tried to open up the door, wouldn't open, realized, oh, there's somebody sitting in that seat. No big deal. I'll just go to the back.
Hop in the back.
Tried to open up the back. Cops are like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, hey man, I'm drunk.
Trying to get home.
I'm trying to get home. Isn't your job to protect and serve? Well, nope. They busted out the breathalyzer on him. And well, I mean, he wasn't driving, but dude blew a .204, which
Crazy.
is a whole lot of alcohol.
Dude drank a lot.
And he was clearly just drunk as fuck. But there's nothing wrong with being drunk. There's a problem with being drunk and driving. But they went on ahead and slapped him with a public intoxication ticket. And, excuse me, from there, you know, it was just like, what the fuck? Why wouldn't the cops... If the cops are there to serve the public and there's just some random guy, I mean, he wasn't doing anything belligerent. He wasn't pissing on anything.
Right.
He wasn't destroying anything. And sure, I mean, obviously you're not supposed to try to just randomly get in a cop car, but if you explain to the cops, hey, I'm really wasted, I don't want to drive.
Well, and the story that I read was that he thought it was a cab because he
thought it was an Uber, I think.
Yeah, an Uber, something
Yeah.
like that. So he's just really wasted and thought it was an Uber. So when that happens, the cop should just be like, man, no, it's not. Here, let me get you a ride home.
I was gonna say,
like, just call somebody to get him home.
I was gonna say that would be the worst case scenario where they're like, all right, we're gonna send you. But I mean, couldn't they just take dude home? I mean,
Yeah, and that's the other shitty thing. This was like campus police too, so it's not
Yeah.
even like it's state out. Like, you're just looking to bust kids at that point. Is
Right.
what you're doing. Dick move.
As a random aside, his brother, when he was at Iowa State, also arrested Iowa, my bad, was also arrested during his time there. But that was a little different because he was 19 and wasted, and he led police on a 20-minute foot chase while he was half naked. So now that I can totally understand getting
That
arrested
one
for.
deserves a
That-
public
yeah,
intoxication.
that'll get you booked into county.
Yeah.
But I mean, just
knocking on the door like, hey man, can you give me a ride? That's not.
It reminds me of Grand Theft Auto when you try to get into the cop car when the cop's there. And you immediately get the 3-star rating. And I'm like, for what? Just for trying to get in the cop car? Come on.
Oh shit. Oh, ouch. Cheryl said, babe, we need to get you in the gym. Damn. Wow. Hit her with the rap air horn. That deserves it. Holy shit, that's cold.
What the fuck just happened?
Your wife just put you on blast on the Facebook Live feed.
Cool.
All right, let's get into the last story of Upper Deck here.
Moving on.
Yeah. That got super weird. Look, Scott pulls out the phone. He's like, wait a second, I'm going to handle this shit right now.
Right.
All right, well, the Open was this past weekend, the British Open, and Tiger finished tied for 6th at the Open. Real big deal there. The better story from the weekend, though, is that Eddie Pepperell, he shot a 71 on Saturday. Kind of took him out of running for the tournament. Apparently, after his Saturday performance, Pepperell was so upset with himself, and he did what any of us would do after we've had a really shitty day at work. He went and got fucked up, just hammered drunk, wasted, and he ended up playing Sunday completely hungover. He admitted it. He came out and said, I was pretty hungover today. Still shot himself a 67 to finish tied for 6th with Tiger Woods.
More drunk more often. He's back.
Yeah, Eddie Pepperell is back. Hungover Eddie Pepperell is definitely back. Tiger Woods, not so much. I think we should have more athletes playing their sport hungover.
So what was better, him doing this hungover or the kid from whatever, Ohio, in the Olympics who chugged a beer right after and did all that? Which one's better?
Wait, there was a kid from Ohio that chugged a
The
beer
Olympics.
in the Olympics?
Like the 14-year-old
Oh,
where he
right.
shotgunned a beer on
yeah.
national live TV and cussed and
Yeah, that's way better. That's way better than being hungover. That was the same kid that, like, he said his family was going up the mountain and we're sending him Snapchats of them just getting fucked up on the way up the mountain at like 6 o'clock in the morning. They're just all doing shots. That family is way better than Eddie Pepperell going home and drinking some schnapps or whatever, and then feeling.
But you know what, though? If you
gross the
tied
next
with
day.
Tiger, it's a good day no matter what, right? I mean, that's the way I look
That's
at
what
it.
I'm saying. This should have been the story, not, hey, Tiger was in the lead for a little bit and then faltered down the stretch because he's not back. It should be Eddie
Do you
Pepperell.
want your mic cut? Do you want that?
I love the smoothness of all the
Shut
hate
your
in there.
fucking mouth.
You just kept blowing right through it.
I do what I can. This has been Upper Deck, brought to you, as always, by Minuteman Tickets and by Eddie Pepperell. Tiger, not back. I mean, right?
No, definitely not bad. I'm still thinking about how my wife just completely burned.
Dude, that took you way out of it. I feel I shouldn't have even said anything. I
I didn't
feel
even
bad
notice
for bringing
it,
it up.
but now
I know,
it's
that's what I'm
cool.
saying. I feel bad for bringing it up because now
cool.
you're completely out of it, man.
Yeah. I guess I'll go to prison and lift weights and convert to Islam.
You just gotta start doing them kid exercises, like swinging the kid like a kettlebell.
Well,
You
I
gotta
thought
do
it was
some
good.
kid curls.
I thought
That's
it was
always
good
a
until
one.
a few minutes ago, but apparently not.
Oh,
Just
shit.
a bitch out here.
See, we'll just adjust your camera because nobody can see my arms in the camera. So it's like my driver's license picture where I look way bigger than I actually am.
Neck up. I'll just do some neck workouts and just be real swole. Jesus, man.
The drug line is open, 440-37-DRUNK. Hit us up. Let us know what you want to talk about. Where do you guys want to go to start this show? Where should we go first? Because there's a lot that we were going to talk about here.
Actually, I needed to consult what we had because there was a lot of things that I wanted to talk about, and I feel like we need to get to all of them. So I don't want to spend too much time on any one.
Let's start with Last Chance U. Because
Yeah, we can do that real quick.
that was a good thing that we don't want to throw any spoilers out there, but Last Chance U came out last week, actually the day after we recorded last week. Last Chance U dropped on Netflix. It's like the official start of college football season when Last Chance U comes out. It's the Hard Knocks of the NCAA. This year, I was really nervous about it because they were going to a different college in Kansas, Independence, Kansas. We didn't have Buddy anymore.
Well, I was nervous when I heard that they were leaving the Mississippi because I'm like, wait a minute, why mess up a good thing?
But see, that's what I was thinking too. But if you think about it, that second season was
a
totally
shit show.
different than the first season. Like
Yeah.
the first season hooked you so much, and then the second season, Buddy was like, I was embarrassed of seeing myself. I'm going to try
Right.
not to swear.
Well, and-
Brittany Wagner was gone. Like,
Well, it took one
Everything was
episode
different.
for me to realize, oh no, they totally made the right decision by moving on and going to a different school.
Yeah.
It took one episode, and I'm like, yep, all right, I don't miss Buddy at all.
yeah,
Yeah, when there's a cow roaming and there's just a dude with a gun chasing it down throughout their
That-
football practice, I was hooked and sold right
and,
there.
And really, I know it happened right at like one of their first practices, but that set the tone.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
in the very first practice, they have to stop practice because there's a guy on the far side of the field trying to tranquilize a cow, and all the players are nervous and freaking out.
The coach is yelling, "Don't shoot the motherfucker!"
I mean, I was just like, that tells me everything I need to know about this season, and it hasn't disappointed from there. But yeah,
It's,
it's wild, man.
Super good season. The Independence Pirates were like bottom feeders in their division for years and years and years.
30
And,
years they hadn't won a
This is their
title.
turnaround thanks to a couple of things that came out in the show. So one is their new coach, JB is what he
JB,
goes by, which
yeah,
made me
yeah.
laugh every time I heard it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Every
God
time
damn
I
it,
heard it, I was like,
JB.
God damn it, JB. But JB, the new coach, who is from Compton and now resides in this.
And that Compton, people. That Compton. Not the other Compton. The Compton.
And it should be, we should clarify, JB is whiter
White.
than me. Like, he is super white, dude.
Until you hear him talk. Then
Yep.
you know that
and then
he's
you're like,
not whiter
"Oh,
than you.
You're from Compton. Okay, okay.
He would nail all of the white motherfucker questions that you get wrong.
Shoot, he would nail the ones you get wrong.
I was going to go there, too. And the ones I can't get either.
But super entertaining. The foulest mouth I have ever heard out of any coach
He
in the
used
world.
fuck in ways that I had never envisioned. In the very first practice, I'm like, wow, that shit is impressive.
It like gets me thinking, how does that motivate guys? Like, I don't know if I could take he like is a drill sergeant that doesn't know any more words than fuck is basically the best way to describe it.
Well, and at one point later on in the season, they have one of those one-on-ones with him, and he's talking about how these guys think that we're not encouraging them and that we're belittling them and all this, and they can't handle it. But, we're actually doing just the opposite, and we're building them up by this. And I'm like, man, but it'd be very hard when a guy is motherfucking you to your face and telling you you're completely worthless and telling you to get off the field with all these F-bombs and still believe, yeah, but he's still got my best interest at heart.
Dude, he cut players more times than I've ever seen. None of them actually got cut,
no.
but he was just like, get the fuck up, go the fuck home. Go the fuck home, fuck boy. Which calling players fuck boys was the best thing.
As a white guy.
JB he makes the show. The players themselves this year, I didn't find to be that interesting. There was the one kid.
Here's my take on the players. There's only 3 standouts. And then the rest of them are all kind of forgettable. You can make an argument for the defensive lineman who always gets late hits, late penalties on everything. Spoiler alert. Yeah, he likes to late hit. But the quarterback, a complete douchebag. That guy sucks.
Yeah, the kid from Florida State.
Yeah. Who was a 5-star recruit and he's a bitch.
Well, and
he's everything that Buddy says he is. Like, he's the only one.
JB, not Buddy.
Sorry. The other white guy. So he's the only one that I actually agree with anything that JB says, because I'm like, man, I don't like this guy. But I love the wide receiver from Texas Tech. He's awesome. And then the linebacker I feel really bad for, and they do a good job.
Bobby Bruce.
Yeah.
Bobby Bruce ends up being.
He makes fun of his voice, and I'm like, he's actually.
I was just gonna say Bobby Bruce ends up being one of those dudes that you really pull for. Like you really want him to get over the hump. We were talking about
that's what I'm saying. Those are the 3 standouts.
We were talking about it before the show. Normally, when they explore like the players' past and they start talking about like how they grew up, that's when I check out on this show because I'm like, I get it. You were poor, man. Like you had some shit happen to you. You fucked up in college.
My
now
son
you're in
says
Independence.
Hi, Jordan. Which, by the way, random aside, he will ask randomly out of nowhere, "Did you do your podcast last night?"
Nice.
And I'm like, no, it's Tuesday, but thanks for asking, buddy. And like when I come back from not being at home, he's like, "How was the podcast?" And I'm like, "Didn't do it. It was just at work."
Awesome,
but,
man.
Yeah,
I love that he
for
thinks
asking.
your job is the podcast. That's fantastic.
I know. He knows what Daddy wishes was his real job.
Oh shit.
But
anyway, so Bobby Bruce is like the guy that you really pull for. You hear his backstory. He had a really rough time. Some shit went down with his cousin. The guy just really struggles throughout the whole thing. I'm not going to ruin what happened to him, but he's definitely one of the ones that you really pull for. I agree with you 100% about that quarterback. Fuck that kid. What a whiny little douchebag, man.
Well, he sucks, and no matter what's going on, good or bad, it just... And there was one player that later in the season basically calls him out. It's like, he doesn't care about shit except for himself.
Yeah.
But I completely understand why Florida State would be like, yeah, this guy.
Well, and the coaching staff was trying to get across the point to him that, like, you're a 5-star recruit. You think you're this great player. You are not showing that on the field. Like, and you see these games where he's just missing throws. He's not, like, I understand he doesn't have, like, the best line in the world, but come the fuck on, man. Like, you're playing JUCO kids, and you're supposed to be starting at Florida State. You should be throwing for 600 yards every game.
That's what I don't understand. For him being a 5-star recruit and the number 2 overall recruit in the country, he looks like dog shit.
Yeah. I think a lot of that is just that he was upset that he had to resort to JUCO, so he just mailed it in.
My guess is he just doesn't want to play football no more. That's what I
you think he's going that route?
Yeah, he's just doing it because his dad said, "Hey, you're going to do this now to get back into it." Because
you think the scouts are questioning his
he's getting the Josh Rosen treatment for sure.
Yeah, that kid's a douchebag. But the season is super entertaining. I finished it in like a week, not even a week. Like it was the weekend I was done with it. Scott's rolled through it pretty quickly.
And I didn't start watching it until
like Monday, Tuesday. When
it was like I was gonna say Monday night. I think I watched the first episode, and then I actually took a day off. And then in the last 24 hours, I've plowed through it. I have everyone done except for I'm on the very last episode. But very good season, and actually, I mean, unless something crazy happens in the last episode, I'm already about to say that this one is the best season out of the 3.
Ooh.
And I loved the first 2. Like
I love the first one. The second one was kind of a downer. Joe, are you going to put season 3 above seasons 1 and 2?
Above 2, below 1.
Ooh, okay. So Joe's going 1, 3, 2. Scott's going 3.
3, 1, 2.
I think
Chicago.
I don't know where I'd put this season. It's definitely above 2. 2 is definitely the worst season of them all. But that shock of seeing Buddy for the first time and being like, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean,
this
I
is
guess
wild.
the intro of, oh my God, this is what the show is going to be.
This
Well,
is
it was just
JUCO
like
football.
JUCO,
Right,
and it was
yeah.
like usually people like try and like act nice in front of a camera. And
Right,
it's just
and
like
this was-
dude's raw.
Yeah. But I will say JB is definitely rawer, more raw, rawer,
More rare.
rarer, roar.
Moving on.
Fuck. Anyways, moving on. Hard Knocks coming up soon. It's the Cleveland Browns this year.
So pumped.
So the NFL version. So I'm going to put it out there to our listeners. If anybody has an HBO login that I can borrow for Hard Knocks, I would appreciate that.
Same.
If you want to just share it to
Hi,
the
Jordan.
Craft Brewed Sports.
Keeps missing it, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
Share it to the Craft Brewed Sports Gmail address and give all of us the login to your HBO Go so that we can watch Hard Knocks with the Cleveland Browns.
Y'all need HBO Go? I got that.
Yeah, man. All right, sweet, good. We're hooked up.
We got the connect. Cool.
Yeah, no,
How
what's funny
excited
is
are you
because
for this Brown season, though? Like, I'm super pumped for this
Well,
one.
I,
2 reasons.
well, I'll say I'm
Baker
excited.
Mayfield. That's why.
No, I'm excited for more reasons than just Mayfield. Now, I'm excited for Hard Knocks specifically for Mayfield, but the
Yeah.
season in general, at some point in our lifetime, like the Browns are not going to suck, right? And they built up all these.
Damn right.
Well,
It
no,
has
I mean,
to. It has to happen.
This
You're
year
right.
has to be the year. I mean, when you're coming off of
whoa,
Owen,
whoa.
No, well, okay,
Has to be the year.
has to be the year that
Did you see Jarvis Landry's
I
comment?
did hear
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
He's
that's a good one,
Super
the
Bowl,
Super Bowl.
baby.
him and Marvin Lewis are apparently smoking
We
weed
might
together.
add Des Bryant.
No.
There's
They,
rumors
they,
right
they
now.
busted. I tweeted that earlier. I'm like, apparently Jarvis got into Josh Gordon's stash. I don't know what's up. But here's the thing. So you're coming off of 0-16, and then the year before they only got 1 win. So you've got 1 win in 2 years. I mean, no matter what, this season can't get any worse than 0-16, right? And they just got so many guys that at some point they're gonna break through. And
But
I mean,
that's-
I mean, I don't know that the breakthrough is any more than like 7 wins. But if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, like
7 wins is
would be
amazing.
great.
7 and 9 would be an amazing season for
Right.
the Browns,
But
especially
I
since
just-
that would
I just
likely
feel like
put
on
them
paper,
third
when you look at it,
ahead of the Bengals.
they finally have kind of figured it out. I mean, I know they've made a lot of terrible personnel decisions, but I will say they've made some decisions that I thought, man, the Browns did a good job. Like Justin Gilbert, I thought was going to be amazing. He completely busted out in like a year and a half. I mean, they've just had some terrible luck with some of these guys that people pegged as like really good
Right.
picks. I mean, yeah, Johnny Manziel was terrible. Yeah,
Whoa,
you could
wait,
see that. You
what?
could see that on the wall.
Terrible?
Like that was
What?
yeah.
What? Johnny Manziel
Right.
is God's gift to the Canadian Football League.
Brady Quinn was terrible, but like
What?
some of the
What?
other
What?
some of the
What?
other
No, that's fair.
picks though, it was just like, man,
fair.
they just have terrible luck because they were guys that other teams coveted and like we're supposed to be the guy and they just haven't worked out. So like
It's
I
really-
kind of feel bad for as many times as they've like managed to Browns.
It's
all
really
their
hard
draft
to
picks.
miss on the first pick in the draft that many times. In a
Right.
row. It's
Like, they haven't
almost
accidentally-
more impressive that you've swung and missed on the first pick that many times than if you had gotten them all right. Like almost. Grady says that it's totally okay to ask about stealing HBO on a public broadcast. I'm not asking to steal it. I am asking for a friend to share. That is not stealing. I'll give it back. All right, Hard Knocks coming up. Browns. So, where do you think realistically the Browns end up this year?
I think
You
6
think
or 7 wins.
6 or 7. Joe thinks they're going to the Super Bowl.
I believe in my boy. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Here's where I think the Browns are going to have trouble. And we talked about it before. they've got amazing position players at this point. Like their wide receiver core is fantastic. They've got Tyrod Taylor now so that they don't have to throw Baker Mayfield into things right away. They can kind of ease him into it,
And that's
which
why-
they haven't had in the past. But who's on the line? Ever since Joe Thomas left and retired, and that's where the difference is. If Joe Thomas was there, I would have been like, the Browns are going to kill it this year. But without Thomas, I don't trust that line as much as
So
you could.
what is your win total?
I'm gonna say 5.
Okay, so we're not
It's
that far off.
improved.
I think
It's improved,
I'm saying
but-
6 or 7, and that's not
5 and last place in the AFC North.
well.
Whoa,
and
whoa,
I'd
whoa,
say-
whoa, whoa, whoa! You think they're going to be worse than the Bengals? Come on now.
Yeah,
Come on
I do.
now.
I do.
Come on.
I think.
Be real.
Well, and you know
Marvin
what, though?
Lewis said the
I will
Bengals
say-
are going to the Super Bowl, so I don't know
Well,
what you're talking about.
I
Joe.
will say that I'll say that they're going to be they're worse off than the Bengals only because for whatever reason the Bengals somehow managed to sneak their way to a few wins last year when it looked like they were.
They shouldn't have.
Yeah, and it made no sense. So for now, I'm just going to say until a 0-win team isn't going to pass. But I do think that they'll look better than the Bengals in their wins. And
Yeah.
you'll be
I'd
able
agree.
to you'll be able to say, oh yeah, the Browns are actually the better team. They're just not quite there yet.
I would agree
and
with
they
that.
Need another year.
I'd agree with that.
So like,
and if they can beef up that offensive line in this coming offseason, they will 100% shoot above the Bengals.
at the end
easily.
of the year, Browns fans will feel really good about whatever team they have left, no matter what the win total, because it'll be like we're headed in the right direction. Finally,
Yeah.
we've got the building blocks, and all right, now we just need to add. We need to hit in free agency, add a couple more pieces, and next year you're like, all right, this team can legit be ready to contend for
Cleveland
a
Browns
playoff spot.
motto.
No, I know, but
Hopefully
I mean,
next year.
But when you're coming off 0-16, like that would be great if you said if at the end of the year, if I was a Browns fan, I'd be looking for. I just want to see a solid team this year. That's all. Like the win total.
Well, and not even coming off 0-16. You're coming off of 1-15 and then 0-16.
Yeah,
Like
right.
at this point, 2 wins and you're feeling really good about things as a Browns fan. All right, Hard Knocks. Last chance, you fantastic shit. I can't wait for Hard Knocks. All right, let's talk about Harbaugh since we're kind of talking about college football.
Jimmy!
Here. Jim Harbaugh came out during Big Ten
has my
Media
heart
Days.
still.
Jesus Christ.
He will always have my heart.
Can you cover your wood, please?
No.
During Big Ten Media Day this week, Jim Harbaugh said that we should expand the college football playoffs to 8 teams and eventually 16. He said we should do away with the conference championship as a requirement. And he got a lot of shit for this. Like Ohio State fans especially were harping on him for this, saying, well, of course you'd say do away with the conference championship when you can't win one, blah, blah, blah. But I think he's 100% right in this. There should not be a requirement to win the conference championship. And it goes back to the same argument I have when it's only 4 teams. The 4 best teams should get in. Like I feel in
Right.
all of playoffs, every league, and I understand there's divisions and, the NFL has AFC, North, South, those winners get in. But that's all for geographical purposes. Like I feel like in college football, the best team should get in, period. So
agree.
I never thought I'd say it, but Jim Harbaugh is 100% right on that. I think 16 teams is too much. I wouldn't go 16.
No. And here's the thing.
That's a stretch, Jimmy.
Way back when,
Khakis.
before this ever got instituted, when the playoffs got discussed, I have always
You
stood
had said
hard
8.
and firm. 8 has always been my number, and
Yep,
I will
yep.
say, to the end, 8 is the perfect number. No more though. I think it gets convoluted if you go past 8. It gets very complicated, and then I get why college purists who wanted the bowl system to stick around. Then I totally understand their arguments from that point. But 8 to me has always been the sweet spot because I just feel like 4 was a nice start. And it was great. Obviously, I wanted to get the playoffs in there, but 8 just it always seems like there's just those extra couple of teams, and you not necessarily even get to 8, but it's just like there's always 2 more or maybe 3 more where you're just like, damn, I really would like to see them get a shot.
Yeah.
And in the end, Alabama's still probably going to win it all, but fuck, I would like to see the matchups, right?
I'm going to
So-
completely contradict myself from my point earlier. I think 8 is the right number too, and I still hold firm that it should be the Power 5, each conference champion gets
Yep.
an automatic bid.
Absolutely.
Then you have 3 at-large bids.
Yep.
One of those goes to the highest ranked
Yep.
non-Power 5 team, and then 2 at-large teams who didn't win their conference.
Which would be UCF this past year. Well, they won their conference.
Well, no, but they're not Power 5. They would have gotten in on the non-Power 5
Yeah.
automatic
Okay,
bid because they were the
right.
highest ranked.
Okay,
So
and-
UCF would have been in. It would have taken into account like probably the SEC runner-up would have gotten in.
This is exactly what I've always said. Like, that's how you do it. You take the conference champs and then a couple of extra ones, and boom, you throw them all in together and see what happens. And then UCF gets to play and nobody can be upset that.
Right.
And we don't
You
have all
can't
this national
complain.
championship thing.
Right.
And they get their shot. Whatever happens from there happens. If they win, great. And if they get blown out, well, then, whatever. That just proves that, all those people that say, oh, they can't compete with the Power 5. But we get to see it play out instead of, well, UCF was just out there and we never really will know what will happen. We know they would have gotten beaten by Alabama. But,
Would have gotten beat by anybody.
well, maybe.
No, they would have. There's no way. Come on.
I don't know.
They beat a down Auburn team, and that's what they were tooting their horn
Okay,
about.
but Georgia. No, I know, but I'm just saying Georgia and Alabama. I don't think they beat, but the other two, I don't know. I think they could have hung with Clemson, and who was the fourth team?
I don't
Who am
even
missing?
remember. Isn't that funny that that's
You forget
we're,
that
we're
quickly.
not even that far removed, and I'm like, I don't even know.
I remember
who was
Clemson,
in,
Alabama, and Georgia.
Georgia.
And I'm like, I don't remember
Yeah,
what the other two.
I
Who
don't
did Georgia
remember.
play? Oh, Georgia played Oklahoma.
Oh,
They could have.
yeah.
They could have hung with Oklahoma.
They could have hung with Oklahoma. Yeah.
That and see, that's the type of thing where it's like I would have liked to.
Not
have
with
seen
Baker
those
Mayfield.
matches.
No, they couldn't have. I take that back. Let me take that back. No, there's no way they could have hung with Baker Mayfield. Yeah, but no, I think Aid is right, and I think Ohio State fans that are giving Harbaugh shit for this, like it just comes down to you hate Michigan.
Yeah,
so
that's
you're gonna
whatever.
hate on
I
whatever
completely
he says.
ignore that. No, yeah, if Urban Meyer came out and said that they'd be applauding it, but and if anybody other in the rest of the country probably would have said it, but oh wait, Michigan dude said it? Nah.
Speaking of Herb, Big Herb this week is under fire. He let go of one of his assistant coaches. It was actually the grandson of Earl Bruce, who Herb looks up to and loves and worships. And he has kept his kid on staff since like 2009, I think it said. Basically back in Florida days, this
Right.
kid was on his staff as a graduate assistant. This coach was arrested for domestic violence. No charges were pressed. His wife decided not to press charges. He stayed on staff. Then in 2015, he was arrested again for domestic violence. That case is still open. There's been no resolution to that at this point. Stayed on staff. And then this week, he was served with a restraining order from his wife. And that's when they finally pulled the plug and fired him. And mainly because that became public. Like it was, I think
She had already had the restraining order, I believe.
but he got served with it this week. That was the tipping point. Or maybe that's what it was. Maybe it just came out that there was a restraining order against him, and then people dug into what
Well, I was
happened.
going to say there was a restraining order, and he took their child to her house, and that was a violation of the restraining
You're
order.
right, you're right.
Because
Instead
they're
of
supposed
meeting
to
in a
meeting
certain place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was what happened. But it wouldn't have come out, I guess, that there was a restraining order, but because he violated it and they had to arrest him, that's how this whole thing came about.
Right. So then he got kicked off the staff, finally fired. So this begs the question, and this is what I was wondering, because I brought this up in a group on Facebook that I'm in, and somebody told me it's easy for me to judge from my position of privilege, where I've never been in a spot to make that decision on a guy.
You're so privileged.
I am very privileged, way more privileged than Urban Meyer.
We have some breaking news
Oh,
about
shit.
About Hard Knocks and the Browns quarterbacks. They have acquired an RV from a local dealership, parked it on the premises, and will be staying together for the remainder of training camp together.
Wow. So the QBs in an RV,
Top
hanging
secret
out.
clubhouse meetings will happen all night long.
They got their own. They got their own
shenanigans.
speakeasy. No shenanigans
no
with
shenanigans.
Baker Mayfield. Get the fuck out of
No
here. There's-
shenanigans.
That is all shenanigans. Is what that's going to be. Hanging out in the RV all night long. That is especially with
so
HBO.
It's Baker and
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod.
that. I want to be in that.
In an RV.
And no,
that they got from a local dealership, so it's not a very probably.
So
good one.
are we gonna have an ISO cam within the RV? That's all.
There's
got to
be
like a
I want
24-hour.
I want some real world
Hell
cameras.
no, that is a lawsuit. Nobody wants that Big Brother crap.
I want that. That's what
I would watch.
No.
I would turn that on at 2
No
in the
one
morning.
is getting
You know what I would do?
suspended. They are going to ball out.
You know what I would do? I would pay for HBO to watch that. HBO could stream that 24/7
Yes.
on their website. I would pay $15 a month just to watch that. If it was just
You wouldn't even
live
have to. I'll give you my
24/7.
login. Fuck
You
it.
would be watching them, going over their playbook, talking to each
Yeah,
other,
yeah, that's what it is.
pinkies up, having a water.
gonna
Do you
say,
think,
couple
do you
of
think
teas.
HBO? Do you think HBO gets to go in there? Do you think they're gonna let them do some interviews inside the?
Oh, I
apartment?
would make them give me access. I would be like, it's part of the deal. I mean, at least to get in there. I'm not saying that they can
Private, no
like,
HBO allowed. They're gonna hang it. It's their clubhouse.
on the outside of the door, written on paper.
This is the He-Man HBO Haters Club.
Girls are cool. That's gonna be the bottom of the side. If you got big titties. I just feel like that's something Baker Mayfield
Too
would
far,
totally.
too far. Like I
That's
said,
what
they're going to be
Baker would put in.
reading their playbooks, drinking waters in their PJs.
Hold on, what kind of water though?
Good water, boss. The best.
I love the faith you have in your team, Joe. It is amazing.
I generally think of
Super Bowl bound, baby.
I just generally think of Fiji as like the best water. Have you ever had Fiji?
yeah,
That
it
shit tastes
tastes like water.
No, it tastes like water from another planet. Like it's been filtered 19,000 times.
You know what it
almost
is?
doesn't taste real.
Somebody fucking poured it out of their spout, sealed up the cap, and went, "There you go. There's some Fiji."
Probably did. I don't pay for it, but the few times I've had it, I'm like, this. I don't feel like I make enough money to drink this water. This is too good for me.
Like, we should do a blind taste test on bottled water. Get like some of that Aquafina. Get some Fiji.
I will say I drink so much water that I can taste the difference between the multiple versions of it. Like you don't fuck with me on the bottled water. I'll nail that shit. I'll be able to tell you the quality.
All right, well, I think the challenge has just been laid down. We're going to get a couple of bottles for you, and you are going to have to tell us which one is which.
Fantastic.
Anyway, so Urban Meyer, this came out. So the question, because I was told I am judging too harshly because I've never been in a position where I've had to fire somebody for beating their wife. That's lucky me for not being in that position. Let's take the call. We'll take the call. Trevor in Sports, who's this? Oh, boy. Who's this?
A little too. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Mookie, what's
Can
up,
only
buddy?
be one.
Sorry, I was expecting it to ring, and like all of a sudden, just like, hey, who's there? Hey, what's up?
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm an old fat ass man now. Popped something in my foot this week, so I just sat at soccer and drank beer all night.
That is fantastic. What are you drinking?
Yeah, been switching between the Doom Pedal and the Nellie's Key Lime Ale.
Ooh,
So,
good choices,
yeah,
man. Good
shout out there.
choices. Shout out Taps having us out there.
so I did.
Episode
I
100.
did have one thing for you guys. It's not that great, but it's at least something ponder upon.
Okay. Ponder.
Stacy is now the mom that's got it going on.
So you're saying it's no longer Stacy's mom. Now Stacy is the mom.
Hit the mark.
Hang on,
Stacey
whoever's
is the
calling
mom.
in, call back in a minute because I need to unpack this for a second. So Stacy
Right. Which,
is the
by
mom.
the way, that reminds me, y'all need to get some hold music or some shit because I didn't know if we had technical difficulties or if JB was just ranting for hours. So, just a little Joe, get on that. I know you got 2 laptops to manage now, but it ain't asking for a whole lot. I don't think.
One laptop, a second screen.
Oh, so wait. So are we running a VGA off that laptop? So we're going dual monitors? That's impressive.
HDMI dual monitor. Fucking high class,
Also,
bro.
that does remind me. I want to point this shit out. So, Sherman's nice enough to build himself the speakeasy downstairs, but what's he catching for all these electrical bills that you guys be running up every week?
I don't know.
Shh. My wife has never questioned that. Shh. We got 3 cameras, 4 microphones.
Do you need some hush beer? You need some hush beer?
Shout out
Mookie,
12 Ounce Network. What's up?
Mookie, are you watching Hard Knocks this year?
Am I watching what are they, the Browns?
The
this year?
Browns, yes, the Browns. Baker Mayfield, Tyrod Taylor in an
For
RV
sure.
together.
Dude, imagine this. Imagine this dream scenario for HBO, and I would not be shocked if we hear 10 years down the road that they were paying people behind the scenes to make this happen. Baker Mayfield, Adam Pac-Man Jones, and Des Bryant in the same locker room?
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, they're trying out Pac-Man, and then
I
they're
missed that
Yeah,
one.
they're trying out
the
Pac-Man.
Des thing I heard, but I did not hear about Pac-Man.
Yeah,
What?
holy shit! I didn't even think about that.
This is
man.
going to be the
Right?
best.
And Josh Gordon.
Right?
And Josh Gordon.
And Josh
yeah.
Gordon on top of it.
Oh, and Josh Gordon. Yeah.
And Jarvis
and that's the
Landry.
thing is they don't even need to let all those guys make the team, but you could just have them all in training
Just
camp
in-
and make them
yeah,
last
just in
cut,
camp.
before you get
Yeah.
down to the 53. That'd be entertaining as fuck, right?
All right, man, you just sold me on this. I might actually pay for HBO for it. Like, there's a good possibility that I might pay for it.
Hookup.
I was just going to say, I'm like,
It
that's
might
just
be
kinda
worth it. It
stupid,
might be
though.
worth it.
I mean,
to-
sure, if you really want to be legit.
I'm covering ourselves from
Well,
the
now, here,
past
now,
comment,
now,
man.
hold
I'm
on a
ready.
minute. Why are we talking about paying for HBO? Because, as a organization, CBS should have these kinds of things that you guys can all consume because,
And then we write it
it's
off.
show research,
Write it
right?
off our taxes.
So then you just
Fucking
write
A.
those off for your LLC, and then bam, there you go.
A.
Problem solved.
Mookie killing it.
Lawyered.
Dude, great hearing from you, man. Real quick before we let you go, FC Cincinnati, you're our soccer expert. They've got their international friendly on Saturday against the La
Yes.
Liga team.
Yes.
How bad is that going to be for FC Cincinnati?
I'm calling probably a 3-1 loss, but that's fine because let's be realistic. FC's
Okay.
not trying to win the game; they're trying
No,
to,
just
show up
having
and put on a
fun.
good show.
Right.
I will say that Espanyol's going to put out some good players. If you're going to pay for one game this season, I would say pay for this because let's be honest, the USL is trash, and
Right.
you're going to see quality players that play in Europe every day. And on top of that, these are going to be second and third team guys who are trying to get to impress the coach, show them that they should make some time in the actual La Liga matches later on. So they're going to be going hard. You know what I mean? So,
Anybody as
you're
good
not
as
gonna get name
Zlatan.
recognition, but it's going to be fast. It's going to be quick. The weather's supposed to be great. They are not sold out yet, but I'd say get your tickets soon.
All right, man. Appreciate it, Mookie. Good hearing from you, bud. Cheers.
Hey, much love, boys. Talk to you next week. Take
All
it
right,
easy.
see you,
Thanks
bud.
for the call, bud.
That is
Did we
gonna be
ever
a fun
knock
one.
down where he was?
No, just drinking somewhere.
No, I know, but when he first came on, it sounded like it was a crazy place to be.
It is always
did
good when
tame
Mookie
down,
calls in,
but-
man. That dude can be drunk off his ass and comes in with some of the most salient points I've ever heard. Also, he still has my favorite drunk line message that we've ever gotten.
You guys suck.
No, although that was really good too.
I was just gonna say, I was like, I like the
no.
one
When
you guys
when
suck.
he called in drunk and went on for 3 minutes about how do we know what
yes.
dinosaurs sound
Yes.
like? Holy shit, that was the greatest drunk line
forgot
message
about
that I've ever heard. Drunk line is open 440-37-DRUNK, and Drunk line, as always, is brought to you by Rally House. Next time you need to suit up to rep your team, be sure to go to 12ouncesportsradio.com. Click the link on the right side of every page. Rally House has gear from every major sports league, plus the NCAA, and even local gear. Help out the station by going to 12ouncesportsradio.com before placing your next order. That's 12ozsportsradio.com.
Paying bills,
Selling out, baby.
Can we talk about DeMar DeRozan?
I'll
and
read
Drake?
whatever people want. Hang on, I'll read whatever people want. Somebody wants to donate to the show, I will read whatever read you want me to read. So hit us up on Twitter at Crafty Sports. Hit us up on Facebook. I will read any read that you write if you donate to the show.
We are your sellout kings.
Yes, we can talk about DeMar DeRozan.
This motherfucker had the audacity to admit that he went and talked to Drake after being traded to San Antonio? Are you fucking kidding me?
Wow,
The phone lines are blowing up.
up tonight. Holy
Carson
shit!
Daly, Craft Root Sports, who's this?
Finally, the tank has returned to Craft Sports.
Dang.
It has
My
been
man.
a minute. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. What are you guys doing?
Drinking?
Just drinking cider.
Yeah, I heard you guys. What the fuck is that?
That's the appropriate response.
Have you ever gotten into ciders before?
Two people drink ciders. Fucking English people and 14-year-old girls. Which one are you two?
14-year-old girl for me.
I'm an
Fair
English
enough.
14-year-old girl. It's a weird combo. Really dig them.
I'm a man.
That's what you
call putting an Irishman in a box right there.
Yeah,
We got a 14-year-old girl and an English guy.
I'm not a girl. I wear a kilt or some shit. Tank, how you doing,
Fair
man?
enough.
I know you're calling
bad,
in
man. Heard you
super excited about Hard Knocks.
Oh, dude, I'm so stoked about Hard Knocks. It's going to be a total shit show.
That's the consensus. This is going to be the best Hard Knocks ever just because the personalities are going to make it wild.
Okay, hang on. One of my favorite Hard Knocks seasons was Rex Ryan with the Jets when he got super
That was
pumped
good.
up in a meeting and went, let's go get a fucking snack, and ended a meeting with that line. Is this season going to be better than Rex Ryan Jets season?
Maybe. I mean, how
good
sad
season.
do you have to be to get cut by the Browns? That's the question.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's gonna be really interesting to see.
I mean, that's like getting cut by the Canadian Football League level of bad. If the Browns are like, we're going to pass.
Joe, relax. Tank is also a Browns fan. Joe really went to the mic for a second. He was ready to jump on that one and held back. So way to get him all riled up, Tank.
I know. Well, me and Joe are both Browns fans, but we're the polar opposite Browns fans. Whereas Joe is the eternal optimist, and I'm of the fucking football's been moved by Lucy too many times. I'm not going to kick the goddamn thing anymore.
Yeah, I that's the Browns fan I respect. That's my dad too. My dad's the same way. My dad has quit watching Cleveland Browns football every week since they've been back.
That's a true Browns
Every
fan.
week he's like, I'm never watching this bullshit again. And then the next week he's watching. And then by halftime, I'm never watching this shit again.
That's a true fan of any team.
Browns fans are the most depressing people in the world. I went to like one of those Brown backers bars here in Cincinnati one time, and it was the saddest thing ever. It's what an AA meeting must feel like.
Oh, it definitely is. I got one right down the street from me, and it's interesting. It's a lot of drinks.
Yeah, a lot of drinking. A lot of middle-aged white dudes drinking hard, and they're just leaving the house to get away from their wife, no matter how bad the football is.
Oh, man, that's fantastic. All right, Tank, what's your prediction for the Browns this year? Where do they end up?
It's fucking horrible. Can they go like infinity losing? I don't know. Like they're going to be so bad that they're going to figure out a way to go like 0-20.
Man, Tank's
they might
predicting
start
multiple
losing
losses in
games.
a single game. That's impressive.
It's like that bullshit the day where Jarvis Landry is like, oh, we're going to be scoring 40 points a game. It's like, bro, you're not even in pads yet. What are you talking about? Like, you guys are still in shorts and shoulder pads.
It is ballsy to pick a Super Bowl win before you've before you've hit somebody. That's kind of ballsy.
Fuck it.
It is
What
the
was
worst.
that noise? What was that?
It was the ultimate man.
I'm a cat.
Okay, fuck it.
14-year-old girl cat. Tank, good hearing from you, man.
Oh yeah. By the way, motherfucker of the week, definitely Joe Theismann. One of the few times I was actually
forgot to
happy
ask
that
Mookie.
an athlete got injured is when LT completely broke his leg.
Dude, I almost put that as the gift for the thing, but I was
You
like,
totally should have.
I was like, I don't know if I should. I
Yeah.
don't know if people want to see that. That was almost the gift for the Joe Theismann option on
You
Motherfucker of the Week.
missed an
Yeah,
opportunity.
Theismann deserved it. Oh, and hey, totally off topic. I'm gonna throw it out there anyways. Are any of you guys going to Danger Wheel on Saturday?
No. What's that?
Oh, dude, it's like the third year of it. It's like
such a
Ryan Geist and 3 Points and a bunch. I think Tass and maybe Matry. They do this thing every year now where they have like adult big wheels, and they go to like one of the big
That sounds
hills
awesome.
in Pendleton right above OTR, and people like race on these big wheels against each other and like just get completely fucked up and like hit ramps and get laid out.
That sounds fantastic. And that is
it looks pretty awesome.
it free to go and watch people nearly die.
Yeah, man, it's just like a big block party. Like everybody just like lines up on the sidewalks on this gigantic hill and watches like it's like two people at a time race on gigantic big wheels, and they have a kicker ramp at the bottom. So you get all the speed of going down like a big hill in Cincinnati, and you hit a kicker ramp and fly up in the air, and like they have obstacles and stuff. It's crazy.
And you said Saturday?
Yeah, it's on Saturday. Yeah. Google Danger Wheel Cincinnati. I'm sure some stuff will pop up, and you can see videos from like the past 2 years.
Dude, I can't wait. I am definitely taking my kid to that. That is going to be so much fun.
Oh, that is a good idea for the kid.
Tank, hopefully my wife doesn't go into labor, and we can see you here in the Speakeasy in 2 weeks. She gave us a scare today, and I thought the baby was coming, and we weren't going to make it tonight, but here we are. So hopefully she keeps that baby in until after your episode, man.
Yeah, hey, tell her I got an art show to promote, so keep that thing strapped down, okay?
All right, cheers, Tank. Good hearing from you, man.
All right, see you guys.
See you, Tank.
Yeah, I forgot to ask Mookie his bet or his vote for motherfucker of the week. That's my bad. All right, go on. DeMar DeRozan. He got
motherfucker.
He went
Caught up all
hashtags
of
in
his
my feelings.
Yeah, he did the interview circuit this week, and it was revealed that he got in contact with Drake, Mr. Ambassador for the Raptors. Thank you, Joe. And it was just all of the, bro, what are you doing? And he's basically just completely compounded. Like, I get it. It's your first team. They drafted you. They maybe told you, hey, we're not going anywhere, baby. We love you, baby. Don't worry about it, baby. We'll stay with you. And then turned around and fucked the next. Yeah, they turned around and fucked the next dude. But you know what? It's a fucking business. And you got traded to the Spurs.
Okay. I agree with you. It is a business and totally fine. But on that note, people give KD so much shit for going to Golden State and chasing rings. Stupid. Like, and I'm not saying it's you. I'm just saying fans are also on DeMar's side saying Toronto did him dirty and this is bullshit that they did to him.
Here's the thing.
But
I don't deny that
at
they
the
necessarily
end of the
did do
day,
him dirty.
Both sides have to do what's best for them, right? Like that's the bottom line in all.
And that's what I'm saying. I do think that the Raptors did him dirty, but at the same time, quit being a little bitch.
Yeah, I mean, what are you doing going to? What did he say when he went to Drake? Like, was he just complaining? Like, man, this dude's fucked up, man.
I imagine this whole Marvin's Room scenario where there's a lot of tears and crying about lost loves. Drake knew.
Craft Root Sports, who's this? Oh shit!
All the hard hitters are coming out tonight.
Look at what happens when we don't have tech issues.
No shit.
Everybody comes out of the woodwork. Lou the dog, fresh off his appearance on the sports stands, not sports stands. God damn it!
I was gonna say.
Scout team.
I just saw a tweet. Dude. I just saw a tweet from Sports Stance.
Sports Stance will appreciate the love, though.
Yeah,
I haven't done a show in a year.
Sorry, Scout Team. I apologize. I'm all fucked up. Yes, Lou the dog did an appearance on Scout Team here on 12 Ounce Radio and fucking killed it. It was amazing to hear those dudes baffled by Lou the dog going, I kind of got a breakdown of like, how I do this. Should I just do my thing? And they were like, yeah, sure, man. And then Lou the dog gave him 16 bars. Lou, what's on your mind, bud?
I want to talk about this Elam's Ending basketball style. Have you guys heard of this?
Yes, I have. For those of you that don't know, this was implemented in the basketball tournament.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
My mom said, "What up?"
Good to see you, Mom. So this ending, this is something that I'm really on board with because the end of basketball games is complete bullshit where it's just a foul fest of people trying to catch up. The way this is done, this is developed by a Mensa member who studied a bunch of statistics and said at the under 4 minute timeout, the first dead ball under 4 minutes, whoever is ahead, we mark them 7, like the point total to hit is 7 points ahead of their score. So the team that's ahead has to score 7. The losing team has to make up ground plus 7. So if you're down
like
80
a target score.
Yeah, if you're down 80 to 70, the losing team has to get, or first team to get to 87 wins is basically how this goes. No clock at that point. It's just, hey, it goes to this. Somebody has to hit a money ball shot to get to 87 and win that game. Lou, what are your thoughts on this ending?
So I think it's fantastic. I have one tweet.
That's right. Show that Mensa member who's boss.
That it should be, if it's a tie game, you add 11. so you play for longer in a tie game because that's presumably a better game, a better finish, give the teams more time on the court.
Does
If
that also
one team is
include
up
win by
20
2?
or more points, then you just add 5 to make the target number and end bad games and blowouts sooner.
I'd agree with that one too, because that's the only thing that I was thinking was
That was my biggest point for the whole thing.
yeah, in a blowout, it's like, oh come on, man.
Yeah.
Can't we just cut this off?
Just
like,
sim to end.
But I think in general it's awesome. You would end up with the ball in the hands of the stars more. It would create almost like a whole new role of like a closer or finisher, and I just think it would be really cool to see, especially in like the NBA, like which stars, took and made the big shots. Like you said, it would be like a Moneyball concept. You would essentially have a game-winning shot in every single game, which would be awesome.
and the only thing I didn't
love the
when I
idea.
was researching it, the only thing I didn't see, do you have to hit that total exactly, or
No,
if you
no,
go
no. It's
over?
just like you get to that score or
'Cause
higher.
that would kind of
It's
be
not
fun
like-
to do
yeah.
like cornhole rules, where if you get over,
21.
if you get over the total, it skunks
No,
you back to where
that
you're
happens
at.
in 21. Yeah. If
Yeah,
you get
yeah,
over
yeah.
21, you go back down to 16. So yeah, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
That'd
get
be
to
gimmicky
you get to the
me.
point where you only got 1 point to go, and the other team just won't foul you at all. It's like, God damn
But I
it, come
think-
on!
It keeps the game of basketball the game of basketball at the end. Like you guys said, instead of this foul fest, hack a shack stuff, it's like if you're losing, you better get stops and you better get baskets. And if you're winning, you got to close that sucker out. So, I mean, you're playing the actual game from start to finish that way. And there's not really any difference up to that point. So it's a slight tweak, which I think is perfect.
Yeah, I agree. I think this ending makes it so much more entertaining. It makes the end of the game so much more exciting. And if you want to see this in action, I think they're doing the tournament on, is it on ESPN coming up? There's like a $2 million championship game on August 3rd coming up. So you can watch it live in action and see. And that's what one of the dudes for the tournament mentioned. He was like, there's going to be somebody taking a shot that's worth $2 million on August 3rd, and the excitement in the arena at that time is going to be fucking insane. Like, think
That's a
about
great
that.
point.
You're about to take a 3-point shot to win the game and win $2 million. That's going to be nuts. Okay, good
No
talk,
doubt.
Lou. Lou, real quick,
I
who's
hope
your
their-
vote for
I hope
Motherfucker of the
their
Week?
side bet.
Well, there's definitely going to be
between
side
the
bets,
teams.
especially in the Lou the Dog
Pro-
sports book. It's
No
legal.
doubt. Yeah. By the way, we're on track to open in 2021.
Lou, who's your vote for Motherfucker of the Week? Brewers fans or Joe Theismann?
I just looked at that. This is the best one you guys have ever had because they're both pretty bad.
It's a tough call, man.
But I would go with the Brewers fans.
It's a good choice,
Yeah.
man.
I have
I'm
more
telling you.
sympathy. I have a little more sympathy for the victims of that than I do the Native Americans.
Okay, well, you took a weird turn
I
at
was
the
gonna
end
say,
there.
never
Moving on.
mind.
It's a good
Yeah, that
talk.
was
Good night.
Lou. Good hearing from you, bud. We'll talk to you later, man.
All right, Roof.
All right, cheers, bud. All right, so DeMar DeRozan's a bitch. That's the end of your.
No, it's not necessarily that a bitch. It's just quit being such a whiny bitch. So I guess, yeah, he's totally a bitch. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. There's a couple things that I wanted to talk about and promote before we close things out tonight. So first off, starting August 1st, we are going to be running a contest. You guys have all heard of ESPN Streak for the Cash. There's going to be a Craft Brewed Sports ESPN Streak for the Cash group. We're going to be taking a couple weeks off in August when my wife has the baby. So we're not going to be doing the show, and this is going to be our way to kind of hang out, talk to you guys, talk some shit. We'll do some maybe some like mini-sodes throughout to keep you updated on where you stand. But whoever wins the group, whoever has the best total, the best streak by the end of August, you're going to get a Cincinnati Bengals yard flag signed by their second and fifth round draft picks from this year, courtesy of Minuteman tickets. You're also going to get a Craft Brewed Sports sticker, a glass sticker for the car, right?
Yeah. Well, and aren't we also giving away $100? Or was that
Yes.
an
Yeah.
entirely
No,
different-
I just didn't get to that yet.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
I was just gonna say. I was just making sure. I was like,
No, yeah.
We're also giving away $100 for Minuteman.
$100 for Minuteman.
worth of tickets. From
Yes.
them.
So a huge gift certificate to Minuteman tickets. And
This is our-
a Craft Brewed Sports T-shirt.
Yes,
Like,
and this
it
is
a big
our
bundle.
thank you / hey, we're not going to technically be here, but we want to keep you guys engaged and knowing that we're still out there and don't forget about us. So we're doing this contest. We're giving away all this stuff. So please make sure you're staying active in the group if you're part of it. If you're not part of it, get in it. If not, pay attention to all of our social media because we'll still be doing stuff there. Mike will just be taking care of an extra baby and joining the 2-kid club.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck.
So we got to take a little time off, which is, customary for these type of things. And
Yeah.
so,
We
Mike
did it
will be
when your
doing
second
that.
was born.
Right, exactly. And so Mike will be doing that. And we just want to make sure that everybody's still staying engaged in the Craft Brewed Sports isn't forgotten in the, couple of weeks.
And you
However,
can go now.
Alex tells us she
It's all
needs.
up to the wife. I'm not making any plays here. So be sure it's open now. So if you go to ESPN Streak for the Cash, search for Craft Brewed Sports. There's a group you can join. I think it's a public group. I don't think I even put a password on it. I'm pretty sure
I'm not
it's
part
open.
of it, so I gotta look.
So go ahead and check that out. Join the group. If there is a password, we'll tweet out the password. I don't think there is. That'd be stupid of me to do that. But check that out. Hit that up and get a chance to win some amazing shit. That we've never done this much in prizes for anything.
This is
gonna
the
be
biggest prize we've ever given away, and for good reason though.
Yeah,
Again, we want to keep
Right.
everybody engaged and make sure that
Should we do anything for second place? Maybe a sticker and a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, sticker and a T-shirt for second place.
There you go.
Third place, you're fired. Anybody do you get the reference, Joe? Nope. Okay, cool. Okay, moving on. I'll give it to myself, Joe. Joe's fucking staring at me. Like, okay, anyways, let's get into consumer
This would be
Canada.
the perfect spot when, like, a year ago I told you to add, like, the cricket noise, like, on the board.
We'll work on it.
Well, maybe there's a
I guess
reason
that's
why.
my job now.
Maybe there's a reason why I haven't put the cricket noise on the board.
Moving on.
Let's get into Consumer Candidates. Consumer Candidate brought to you by Tavor. This week on the show, we had our first cider. Why does it sound weird the way I say it?
Cider.
Cider. It's a
Cider.
cider.
You enjoy your cider?
This is from March 1st Brewing here in Cincinnati, Ohio. This is their Airheads green apple cider.
And you
Joe-
hold the fuck. Wow, you did exactly what I was gonna do. Joe, you get to go first.
You go first on this one, Joe,
Damn, why?
because we said so. Green apple cider.
and
Consume.
you provided it.
Consume. And no explanation, just a consume and silence
And
is
a
his
walk
mic.
out.
Whew. All right, fair enough. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, I agree with you. This is a consume, but I'll give you reasons. I kept saying it at the top, and it held throughout. I do not like ciders, but man, the reason is usually because they're so damn sweet. I know this one still has a lot of sugar comparative to beers and other things. That there's no getting over that. Ciders are just going to have a lot of sugar. But if you're looking for a cider that doesn't just sugar bomb you in the face, this is the absolute best one I've had. And it lived up to the Airheads flavor. It totally tasted like green apple all the way through, and it was sour, not sweet. And I loved it. So, I mean, I'm not a cider guy. I'm not going to readily seek out any other ones to compare it or anything. But if I had the opportunity to get this again, totally would. Easy consume for me.
I'm definitely going to consume this one too. Triple consume, following a triple can last week. We got a triple consume this week. This is it delivers. Like I've been thinking about these beers and we've been talking about it on the show. Like, are you delivering in what you're saying it is?
Right.
And this tastes like a sour apple Airhead. Like it 100% tastes just like what they say it's going to taste like. I'm not a big cider fan. Like that's the only downside to me is it is kind of a little bit too much like wine, where I don't feel like I can chug these down as well as I could a beer, just because I don't know, it feels like a little too.
I drank it really quickly though.
I know you
We
did
talked
drink
about it
really
at the top of
quickly,
the
yeah.
show about it.
I mean, I still got like
I know,
got
and
like
they're
a
like
whole bottle.
7% beers too. I
Yeah,
mean, you
there's,
just
it's
killed 'em.
6.9. Well, and that's the other reason why I'm consuming this is because it does have a good ABV. Like,
Which is another thing that's usually lacking in ciders. Ciders are
right,
usually
and that's
really
why I
really
don't like
low.
cider. They're like normally 4%.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're like 5 max.
Also, for those of you that were watching the video, you may have seen what I did a little bit ago. I just poured some Fireball in this motherfucker and took it to a whole new level. Definitely a good addition to this one.
I was right, and I was like, no DJ Air.
Yeah, it's if you've ever heard of Angry Balls with Angry Orchard and Fireball, very similar to that. Only it's the sour green apple flavor. It's really good, man. It like adds like a little bit of that cinnamon spice to it, but not overwhelming. I mean, you could probably get a little bit more by adding a little bit more Fireball, and then you're really gonna get fucked up. But definitely a good choice to add the Fireball to it. Triple consume all the way around. This has been Consume It or Can It, brought to you by
Tavor.
Holy shit. Jason, a Glengarry Glen Ross reference on a sports podcast. What a time to be alive. Thank you, Jason. Fucking thank you. Did you not get the reference, Joe? Is that why you gave me the look?
I have no idea what you were talking about.
I don't get it either.
You don't? Are you serious? It's one of Alec Baldwin's greatest roles that he's ever played.
You motherfucker. You white as mayonnaise.
That's not a white motherfucker thing. That's a guy who likes classic movies things. I'm going to show you this.
That's all.
I'm going to show you
What
this.
movie? What movie?
It's Glengarry Glen Ross is the name of it. It's about salesmen who fucking struggle, and Alec Baldwin comes in to motivate him, and he's like, first prize, Cadillac. Second prize, set of steak knives. Third prize, you're fired.
Oh, when you said the fire there, like that's
How
Yeah.
old is this?
It's old, man. It's
So like probably before I was born?
It's older. Yeah. It might be before I was born. That's a good possibility. It's way older than the '90s commercials we went to.
watching for the show.
This is how young Joe is. We found out that Airheads is a local company, and we looked it up, and we were like, "Wow, the company that makes Airheads also makes Mentos. That's cool." And then we were talking about Mentos commercials because they were
Joe
the greatest
didn't
thing
know
in the
about
'90s.
Mentos commercials.
Joe
in the
has
90s.
never seen the Mentos commercial where the guy rolls around on the park bench and gets a pinstripe
A
suit.
classic.
Unreal. This kid, why am I surprised he doesn't know Glengarry Glen Ross?
I was born in 1992. That probably commercial came out probably like the day I was born. Who knows?
There's a good chance that's the case.
He's got a point. When you're right, you're right.
Thank you for not handing out any shots today, by the way. You still have 3 to hand out.
Yeah, no, I was
appreciate
going
that.
to, but I just tonight wasn't the night. Just didn't feel right.
I don't know if we're gonna have a show next week. We'll see. Who knows? It
Maybe.
was really close to baby time today. Like I was at work when I got the text, and I was like, uh-oh.
It's go time.
I was like, ooh, and then I even got in trouble because I don't have my bag packed yet. I don't have the car seat base in the
it's
cars
2
yet.
weeks away. What are you doing? Oh no, baby, what is you doing?
Yeah, real trouble. But if we are here next week, we have a very special thing that we're doing next week. So each week on this show, you guys hear us do the motherfucker of the week. Next week, we are going to do a motherfucker Hall of Fame. We are going to do a whole induction ceremony. We're going to figure out
The motherfuckiest of the motherfuckers.
yes, and once they make it into the Hall of Fame,
Cemented.
they're never going to be listed on another
Can never again
weekly
be
poll,
nominated.
which is going to be tough for us because the ones that I think we have picked are
Solid.
they could win
Are we
every
going
week.
to announce our nominees tonight? Or?
No, we weren't going to announce that tonight. We're inducting them next week.
No, I didn't know.
We're not
But
gonna-
with the nominees, we were the inductees will go in next week, but we were going to do. The
Oh,
nominees,
just
I thought.
throw
I was
out like all the
yeah.
people.
That's what I thought, but I guess not.
No, because people will know as soon as we start throwing it
Yeah,
out there.
that's
People
true.
will know exactly who the 5 are. But yes, tune in next week for our motherfucker Hall of Fame ceremony.
Fame.
All of these motherfuckers are getting shit-colored jackets,
And a punch in the face.
and their middle finger bust is gonna go in our Hall of Fame because fuck these people. This has been Craft Brewed Sports. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, you can follow the show. There it is at Craft Brewed Sports.